Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and wished you could take it back? Maybe it was a harsh word during an argument, or that email you fired off at 2 a.m., or the look you gave someone who cut you off in traffic. We've all been there, caught in that split-second emotion that takes over before our better judgment even gets a chance to speak. But here's something I've learned, and it changed everything for me. You don't have to react. You can choose to respond. There's a difference, and that difference can change your life. Most of us walk around like emotional tripwires. One wrong word, one disrespectful tone, and boom, we explode. Not because we're bad people, but because no one ever taught us how to pause. Let me ask you this. How often have you let someone else's mood decide your own? How many regrets in your life came not from what someone did, but how you reacted? That pause, that tiny moment between trigger and response, that's your power. That's the moment where your emotional freedom begins. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, they knew this well. They trained themselves to see that space, to step into it, to own it. Instead of letting anger, jealousy, or pride take control, they paused. They didn't react. They responded with calm, with clarity, and with intention. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I almost ruined a lifelong friendship over one text message. We were in the middle of a heated back and forth, and I felt misunderstood, maybe even disrespected. I typed a reply, sharp, sarcastic, and full of ego, but something inside me whispered, "Wait." So I paused. I got up, took a short walk, and came back with a clearer mind. When I reread my draft, I realized it wasn't a message. It was a missile. I deleted it, rewrote it, this time from a place of understanding, not pride. And you know what? That moment of stillness saved the friendship. Now imagine this. Someone insults you in front of others. Maybe they mock your ideas, question your value, or take a jab at your appearance. Your instinct? Fire back. Prove them wrong. But what if just for a moment you paused? You took a breath and reminded yourself, this insult says more about them than it does about me. You walked away, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because you'd rather protect your peace than win a petty argument. That's what the pause gives you. Choice, power, freedom. This isn't about looking calm for appearances. It's about retraining your inner world. So try this the next time you're triggered. By a message, a tone, a glare. Count to 5. That's it. Just 5 seconds. 5 seconds for your wiser self to arrive before your ego speaks up. Because every pause you take strengthens a muscle. And over time, that pause becomes your default, your emotional anchor in a chaotic world. I won't lie, this isn't easy. I've failed at it more times than I can count. I've said things I regretted, burned bridges, lost my temper. But I've also tasted the quiet victories of choosing stillness, the quiet strength of walking away, the dignity of not letting someone else control my peace. And something fascinating happens when you practice the pause consistently. People begin to treat you differently because you're no longer just reacting. You're leading, not from ego, but from presence. You become someone others can rely on, not just emotionally, but energetically. So here's what I want to leave you with. In the moment of tension, who do you want to be? The person who explodes, or the one who breathes and builds? Do you want to be predictable or powerful? You don't have to win every argument. You don't have to prove your worth in every battle. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Let the world rage. Let the storm swirl. You stay rooted, grounded, still. Because true strength isn't loud. It doesn't lash out or seek applause. It stands tall in the middle of chaos and chooses. So next time life tests your patience, don't react. Pause. Then respond with the calm strength of someone who knows. They're not in control of the world, but they are in control of themselves. Quote of the day to pin in comments. Power lives in the pause. If this message spoke to you, drop that in the comments to remind yourself and someone else what true strength looks like. Share this video with someone who tends to react before thinking. It might save them from a moment they'll regret and give them one they'll remember. And in the next video, we'll explore the next step to emotional mastery. How to rewrite your inner dialogue and stop suffering from stories we tell ourselves. Stay grounded. Stay wise. See you in the next one.